It is time.
It's time? Okay, then we're gonna start. I'm gonna call a meeting to order at 5:30. Welcome, everybody. I just wanna officially welcome Jen to her first official meeting. Happy to have you here. Is there anything to add to the agenda?
Yes, so under other,
Yep.
I have meal prices for 24, 25, and unanticipated special ed need.
Okay.
So unanticipated special ed, and what was the first one, sorry?
Meal prices.
Oh, meal.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Minutes of April 1st.
In number one, then the second under board reorganization, and both the first and second say that, does it say?
It's the same.
Nominated, I nominated you, okay, and you nominated me. All right, that kind of.
Well, no, because Fran moved, seconded, but you didn't move yourself. I moved you.
That's what it was. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew there was something wrong there.
Yeah.
So it's the second one.
So the second one.
Immediately moves.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did everybody else get a chance to read the minutes?
Yeah.
And did we not have any, we didn't do anything in non-public? For some reason I thought we had.
We had some stuff in non-public, so
That's a good,
Yeah.
We can approve those separately. They're not in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was just that one thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Someone like to make a motion to accept the minutes with those changes?
so
I-
moved.
Okay.
Want a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of abstentions?
no, I accept it, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Often those people abstain when they weren't here.
Oh,
Not
okay,
here, yeah.
there we go.
So we'll abstain Jen, since she was not at the meeting.
To find out
Because they weren't in minutes. that was
Yeah.
it. You weren't
Got
here
it.
to say that this is legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Recognition
I did watch.
and
You did?
awards.
Oh, yeah.
None this month that I'm aware of.
No? None?
Next month.
Okay, perfect.
They'll be here.
Principal's report.
Wonder who's coming in the front door. Sorry, I got distracted. I can hear the kindergarten our class sizes are staying stable. We have had some move outs and move ins, but they're mostly stable. Kindergarten enrollment as of today for next fall is at 23 students, with 2 students that we've become aware of that we're attempting to make contact with their parents. So I'm fairly confident that they'll be coming to Plymouth Elementary School, so 25 is what we're at today.
Okay.
How many do we have now, Tanya? Kindergartners?
In kindergarten right now, we have 40.
Oh, okay.
So it's important to keep track of that number just in terms of class size and have teaching positions. So that's why I sort of highlight that every month.
Yeah.
And what
This
did we
time.
have this time last year? Because we sometimes gain some over the summer, right?
Oh, we
A lot.
often gain
We often do,
10
but-
to 15 over the summer.
So does this seem like the 25, is this on track for where we were last year? Or is
Yes.
this a little
It's maybe a tiny low, but
close?
I think it's actually around the same number. We've done a lot more outreach this year, so one of the reasons we're a tiny bit concerned is that for the amount of outreach we've done, we would think we would have everybody, so.
Right.
And have you done the kindergarten?
That is this Thursday.
Okay,
So
so
we
we
will,
register, I don't know what you call it now, orientation?
Connections.
or-
kindergarten connections.
Okay.
And they're all, the ones we know of are all scheduled to come on Thursday.
Okay.
Can I ask what kind of outreach you've done?
We have called all of the preschools and daycares. We have emailed our flyer to all of them, and we've put the flyer up on Facebook in a number of different places, so.
Okay. I was just wondering how you go about doing that.
And then we,
Posted in your apartments.
oh, and we did post it at some of the apartment complexes to where there were a lot of families.
Awesome.
And we reached out to one apartment complex in particular and got in contact with the facilities manager or the apartment manager to say, talk this up to families, so.
I wonder if maybe a flyer at real estate places.
Maybe.
All right. Well, good.
Okay, recent school happenings. April 10th, our first grade went to the Concord Capital Center for the Arts to see Pete the Cat, a play. April 16th, we welcomed some class from Plymouth State University to speak, to present to our 5th through 8th graders about both the benefits and the cautions of social media. And they did a phenomenal job. We were very impressed with their preparation. They then, we broke all of the kids into homerooms, and they did a little trial work at facilitating middle school students in a open discussion about social media, which I think is a challenge, but we were very impressed and want to say thank you to Plymouth State. Last week, our 3rd graders took a field trip to the Plymouth State Observatory. They are studying outer space in 3rd grade, so they went on a walking field trip over there to the observatory. That was really fun. K through 5 progress reports are sent home today. Middle school grades are updated live in PowerSchool. Please contact the front office if you have questions about logging into PowerSchool in middle school. Okay. Wanted to let the board know that we made the decision this year in 5th grade to start keeping track of individual assignments and completion and grade for 3rd trimester, so that 5th grade students and their families, as they're going off to middle school, become more aware of both how PowerSchool tracks grades, but also sort of how their students are doing with the way that we grade in the middle school. K-5, we grade on a standard space report card, and then in the middle school, it's a much more traditional 0 to 100 grading system. And so we made the decision that it would be good for the 5th graders and their families to see that coming down the pike as they're getting ready to move over into 6th grade. Upcoming events this Wednesday in the middle of rain. Being held in Plymouth. Our 4th grade will be attending, assuming they don't get washed out. Pun intended. Friday, May 24th, annual walkathon in the Wild Things Bake Sale. That has traditionally been the Friday before vacation, but it's in honor of Earth Day. We felt that the fundraising that had taken place recently had been a lot to ask parents to participate in, so we moved it to the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. Also, we think the weather is more likely to be better that time of year. No school on Monday, May 27th for Memorial Day. Thursday, May 30th, the 6th through 8th graders are invited to a backyard event on our playing fields in the back. We play yard games. It's not a dance, it's a backyard party. So we're excited to hold that again. We have scheduled the gathering for gratitude for June 6th at 6 p.m. That's a Thursday. The Montreal field trip is scheduled for 8th grade for June 10th and 11th. We wanted to congratulate officially Caroline Abbey, who is an 8th grader. She won for New Hampshire the National History Day competition. And she is going to choose to attend the national conference in DC on June 10th. I think it's the 10th through the 13th with some of her friends. So that's really exciting, and congratulations to Caroline. That's the 2nd year in a row we've had a Plymouth Elementary School student win that award. Also, thank you to Geneva Sambor for really making that happen for our students. Both of those websites, I have to get permission from Caroline, but I have it from Iris, will go up on our website so that people can see those projects and what they did to win those awards. Our graduation is scheduled for June 13th. It's Thursday, June 13th. And the last day of school will be Friday, June 14th. I spoke with the board via phone individually. That will be a full day of school, and hot off the presses today for that afternoon, an uplifting, fun basketball presentation. We have someone coming in to make the last day of school fun. And June 26th to 30th, our TSA club members will be attending the national conference. So that's again, very exciting.
And remind me where that is?
It's in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando,
Florida
okay.
this year.
So they raised all the money they needed?
The parents still will need to pay a portion of it, but they have had a fantastic fundraising year. They've done very well. In the area of curriculum instruction and assessment, I wanted to let you know that we're finishing up our literacy professional development for this year, today and tomorrow. So we had Keys to Literacy, who is our consultant here today, and they'll be back tomorrow. So that's exciting. The New Hampshire SAS testing for reading and math will be given on March 21st, or May 21st and 22nd, and then the 5th and 8th science week after. And as some of you know, we did things differently this year. Rather than drag SAS testing out over a very long period of time that puts a huge burden on the building, we're doing it all in one day. Everyone tests, and we're doing breakfasts, big breakfasts in both of the wings for the kids who are testing, and I feel like that has been very successful and cut down on the ongoing stress for special education staff in particular. So that's been really
I've heard a lot of positive feedback about that.
good. This Thursday, Plymouth, in the area of wellness and social emotional health, this Thursday, Plymouth Elementary School will host Ty Sells, who's a prevention specialist from Ohio. He is going to speak actually to our 5th through 8th graders about positive choices related to alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. His presentation will also focus on the way we treat others who are different from us. So that is a collaboration between the high school and Campton Elementary School and us, and I'd like to say thank you to Sean O'Brien, who's helping us make that happen. A couple of student shout-outs. In the intermediate wing, our CARE winners for the month of April. Colton Plaisted won an award, PJ Bushnell and August Tebow, and I was able to attend that ceremony. They're all very deserving, so it was wonderful. For teachers and staff, I'd like to shout out Jake Stevens tonight. He is hosting the concert for 4th through 8th graders, and all my sound needs, even when they're last minute. So thank you to Jake. And we're waiting for baby Stevens to be, baby number 2 is on his way, or on her way. Like to thank, as I did, Geneva Sambor for her work on the National History Day competition work, Julie Panis for all her work this year on robotics and the TSA National Conference. And also shout out to the PS families for their involvement in some very successful fundraising this year. It's really great to live in a community that supports co-curriculars at the level that our community does. PTA met last week because that was the first Monday of the month, so they're not meeting this coming Wednesday. They have already met, but they will meet in the first week of June. I'd like to thank them for all of their work towards the fundraising as well as an organization. Jenny Lee met with Jenny Tebow, and I attended the PTA meeting last week. We are looking forward to working with PTA to think about the burden we're putting on families around fundraising and making sure that we're thinking about the times that we're asking for money and have we asked too much recently. So, and really wanting to focus on high impact fundraisers, not smaller fundraisers. So wanted to make the board aware of that work going on. Facilities update at this time of year is always interesting as we're getting ready for our summer projects. So I have some brief updates for you. The library renovation is in full planning mode. Kyla and I met with the CCI team. We've set up weekly meetings throughout the summer. The summer schedule is totally outlined in a calendar, and we're good to go with that project. We do have some details we're working out, but that's going well. The outside drainage project, remember the primary playground is going to be ripped up in order for new culverts to be put in the whole area. We have a pretty significant drainage issue. If you're ever here in a rainstorm, you know about. And that's good to go. That will happen during the month of July. We will be closing the playground when that project is going on, because there'll be so much equipment out there, and that the playground, but we will put up good signage and let everyone know that that's the case. Wanted to update you on the septic relining ongoing project. Powell's did come in and send a camera up a pipe between the locker rooms and the custodial area. And they are recommending that we not reline that, because we would have to rip up all the flooring in the locker rooms, but that they just clean it out, and then that we keep the good maintenance and awareness of that line. They think that that may last for up to 10 years, so they don't think it's not an imminent issue. If the locker rooms ever do get replaced, we would want to, or renovated. At that time, it would make sense to do something with that septic line. Grease trap will be replaced this summer. A couple tiny things happening with the propane project. The gymnasium floor is scheduled to be sanded and painted for the month during 3 weeks in August. Well, 2 weeks, but needing to dry. But I did want to bring up, as you are aware, during the budget process this year, we, the townspeople authorized us to take some money out of the capital reserve, which is going to do a number of different things: the grease traps, the drainage, and then some interior door work. We would like to ask the board, with some of the end of the year funds, to allow us to build 2 small tutoring spaces in our special ed classrooms. So with the incoming students that we have, a little unexpectedly just this week, and then a couple more that we are now aware of coming in kindergarten, we are realizing that we need some smaller spaces, tutoring spaces with windows and nice spaces for kiddos to be able to work well. So we went ahead and got a cost estimate for that. And the cost estimate came in for all of it, including the interior doors.
Rest of the interior doors,
and removing the carpet from the old quiet room, renovating the old quiet room so that it is painted and cleaned up and nice. The total for that project came in with a contingency of 8% at $151,298,000, which is a lot of money, but it is, I believe, very necessary at this time. I could talk you through the more specifics of what those where those spaces would be and where the interior doors, if you'd like me to do that.
So the interior doors you've already talked about, but with the population coming in, or the current population that's there, these spaces are needed for special ed and for other purposes as well, like tutoring or intervention. You have funds available. I just had Dan run all the numbers today. And remember, you had the $223,000 that came back for health insurance. So that's significant. You have a significant savings around special ed aides because there was a shortage, so we were not able to hire a number of positions. You had some savings in staff exchanges in regular ed, and I reviewed some of this last month too. And then some savings in some of the out-of-district tuition for that piece. So you do have the funds right now to do that.
So do you have a breakdown of the cost of what's left in what account?
I do have it. I'll have to have Dan send it to you.
Okay.
Because mine's all written all over, so
Okay.
I can send that out to you guys.
So we would be taking those funds from the unreserved fund
Your
balance
unreserved
that we
fund
have left?
balance right now is $673,629. That includes all anticipated costs. So you do have some funds, and I'm gonna go over the special ed needs you have as well.
Okay.
And you'll still have funds to put in the cap reserve, to give back at the end of the year. And Dan will be here next month to work through that with you. And I believe you'll have some for retention too. So you do have the funds to do this. I don't think there's any additional building projects coming forward after tonight. and then the special ed piece, and then whatever's left over is left over, and then you could break it out next month,
Okay.
okay?
So is this something you want us to, I would prefer to wait till I see the numbers. Do you need us to vote on this now?
I do need you to, because it's part, the reason we're able to move on it now is because CCI is already in the building.
Okay.
And so they have to get their contractors ready to do this additional work.
Okay.
And they could do it within that scope. They're starting the day after school gets out.
Yeah.
Or a couple days before, as far as the cleaning, moving quickly. So in
Okay.
order for them to get it done this summer, we're gonna hit the ground running right
Okay.
before school gets out.
So there'll be no additional funds that will need to be raised from taxation, is what you're saying?
Correct.
We have the funds to cover.
Correct. And it's something we talked about as far as doing some of these projects, and we took out a bunch from the budget as well. So hoping that there would be some funds here.
And is there any space in this renovation of this building to add those tutoring spaces?
So yeah, they're gonna be renovated.
Do you know what I'm
mean
saying?
the
Like,
library?
the library itself. Is it possible to put a wall up and make a portion of it for those spaces? I'm just I don't work in the building, so I can't speak to what office spaces you need, but I know that a lot of offices that used to be for educators are now being turned into space that we need because of the population that's growing. But what happens when we need to have a space for those teachers to go?
So do you still have speech?
Do you know what I mean? Like, is there going to be a space? Like, I know Lori, that used to be a conference room where Lori's office is, and now it's Lori's office.
My preliminary plan for room assignments for the fall is going to push people out of their small office spaces back into full teaching rooms.
Okay.
So I think that we're going to be better off next year than we have been, certainly in the last 2 years.
Okay.
I think that is a concern. One thing that I always think about is flexible solutions, not permanent solutions. You know, we have an influx right now of some very high needs kiddos, but my thought is that, for your specific suggestion, is that this is really the heart of our school, and we really want to maintain this as, I think, as a learning commons. I think we have the best plan in terms of continuing with flexibility.
Okay.
The 2 tutoring spaces would be downstairs near our behavior programs and
Okay.
are located in the place in the building where we need them to be located.
Okay. Okay.
When you said the quiet space, is that the space across from the art room?
Yes,
Is that no longer being used for?
that is our ESOL room class.
Plus that will no longer be that?
It will be that, but it needs a
Dual
renovation.
usage.
Yeah.
No, it will continue to be a space for our ESOL teacher and for her to do some one-on-one tutoring, but
I understand. It needs to be spruced.
yes.
And the other space, would that be in,
No, there would be
Three spaces.
three spaces. That would be one, which is, to be very honest, very minor renovation. And then the back of what is currently the OT, occupational therapy space, would have a wall put up at the back of that.
okay,
But the door would go in to what's NCR.
yep,
So there, at the back of NCR, there would then be 2 tutoring spaces.
What's NCR?
that makes sense.
NCR is a classroom on the lower level of the north of this wing.
Okay, thanks.
North corner. North
North
It used to be non-categorical classroom.
Yes.
Okay.
And then across the hallway where our SOAR classroom is, where Megan Babbitt has a classroom, there used to be an office in that room that has a window. That the walls for that office came down.
That was where a psychologist was back
Yes,
many
way,
years.
way back.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's now going to be a space for either some testing or some tutoring or sensory space.
Okay.
So,
The idea is to create a lack of distraction.
yes.
Got it.
but to have the resources for what you need to be right there.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I trust that you know the space, so I'm fine
And
with,
somewhat
Both
it's
spaces
the-
will
it's the
have
population,
windows
I think.
and
Correct.
be very, they'll be like little tutoring rooms with a whiteboard and table and chairs,
yeah.
you know.
I would
It seems
just-
a reasonable cost.
I was
Right.
gonna ask if this is something that's gonna be lasting, because I know like sometimes kids come and go, but is this, doing this renovation something that you're gonna need long-term?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The special ed population doesn't seem to be going down.
No.
Our youngest students are students who are needing more supports.
Okay. I'm in support of taking the money as long as we have it,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, it's as long as we have it and it doesn't involve any further taxation.
Yeah. So need a motion
I'll
to,
make a motion that we, do I have to say the actual amount?
Yes, so
151,
approve the
298.
151,000.
298.
150 towards building renovations.
thank you.
Thank you.
That is my portion.
All right.
Okay, our spring sports are finally underway through the rain and the clouds and whatever else comes at us. We're hoping for some warmer weather. Track and field so far has competed at Interlakes, Belmont, and Guilford, and they only have 2 more regular season meets to go. Again, another one at Guilford and Newtown. Who applied in their events will continue on and compete at the Lakes Region Championship, which is held at Winnisquam. Pretty more to probably jump in and compete. Our softball and baseball teams and some rain, but they got through those. Third game was much better. You can see now that our teams are showing some cohesive confidence. Match with excellent. So we're getting there. Looking forward to that continuing progress as they continue to work hard in the coming weeks. A few other athletic updates. Once again, I would just like to remind Plymouth Pediatrics will be here on the morning those. I know we have that are current spring athletes, but any of the fall athletes. Physicals may expiring. It's a good time to get it done. I'll be holding fall sports signups the week of May 20th. I usually do that right in the cafeteria during the students' lunch periods. Our fall sports soccer, 7-8 boys, 7-8 girls soccer, and volleyball.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
please? Do you still have some fall sports that are SAU-wide, that kids from other districts can come? Is it-
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so which sport?
A few of them. There's cross country, football. Last year we started taking on other girls and 7-8 girls soccer.
Okay.
Volleyball. We've had. I mean, they're kind of all. We have sprinkles of
And
kids.
remind me, does the school district pay an amount?
Parents pay for
Parents
descending
pay.
districts.
Right.
Pardon?
Parents,
The parent pays for them to participate.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Fall preseason information, practices and game event schedules. I'll be posting those on the website. Definitely will do that before the summer break. Just working on a few more things right now, building up those schedules. And then in terms of the summer, anyone interested in any of the various summer sport camps and clinics in the area can go onto the athletics tab. Those are already posted on our website. But there's camps there held by Plymouth State, by Holderness Prep School, across the way at the high school. So there's a lot of different opportunities there for kids over the summer to kind of hone in on their skills a little bit before they start the seasons. Our safety committee, we held our final meeting of the year last week. I would really like to extend my thanks to Ellen Hand for her numerous years of service on that committee. She's been a very helpful person, insightful, and a really solid contributing member to the group. So we will miss her in retirement next year. But the good thing is that everyone else on the committee has agreed to come back. I didn't even have to bribe them. It was good. You will be again reviewing our emergency operations plan to establish that for the 24-25. The year as a whole, discussed a lot of potential safety for the future, items such as potentially holding a mock practice / training safety scenario with the assistance of our local safety agencies, adding playground perimeter fencing, acquiring a few more AEDs for the building, and completing another FEMA emergency course as a committee. I will tell you on that one, the committee did say they'd like to push that for another year since we just did one this year, which is fine. So we'll look to do that. And again, lastly, just wanted to give an entire thank you to our entire PES safety committee. It's a really solid group. Our whole school does a great job of helping out through all of our drills and everything that goes on. Definitely the fire department and police departments, all of their work appreciated and their assistance with us, invaluable. So thank you to everyone. And that is it.
I have a quick question about how things went for the Eclipse Day. That was kind of a big discussion, but did things go really well?
We thought it went really well. Many parents did dismiss their kids.
Yeah.
But we also had, about 60% of the kids there at the end of the day.
Okay.
And we went outside, and it was actually, I think the adults would describe it as pretty sweet here on campus. We had a really wonderful time sitting on the playground with the littlest kids and talking to them and explaining it, and the middle school was out in the back, and they also had some nice time together. So I think it turned out really nice.
Variety of music, anything that involved lyrics with sun, moon.
Yes, we had a whole playlist going.
It
So it was,
go
that's
total,
funny.
so
Yeah.
the bus issue, kids weren't, it's not like they had to get out and it was pitch black,
No.
so.
yeah.
Okay,
Good.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions about any of the principal's reports? No? Perfect. Thank you very much, ladies. Privilege of the floor, number 1. Hi, welcome for anyone on Zoom. All right, that makes it easy. Discussion items, the meal prices and unanticipated special ed costs.
All right, so the meal prices, I sent around a memo from Dan, and he does this every year. And it's to, basically you have to get closer to what the government subsidizes for lunches. So you have to do a minimum of 10 cents every year, but he did recommend a little bit more for next year. You could see student breakfast, he wants to go from $1.85 to $2. Student lunch, $3.10 to $3.20. Adult breakfast, $2.50, excuse me, $2.75, and adult lunch, $4 to $4.25. And then if you just note the paragraph on the bottom, please know that this action will not affect in any way the pricing for students that qualify for free and reduced lunch, nor bring any change for the fresh fruits and vegetable program.
This is something that we do
Every
year to offset the cost, so I'm
I just need
happy
a vote on it.
with these
Yeah.
numbers, so.
The fresh fruits and vegetables program, is that the snack at the end of the day? Okay.
Highly sought after.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for the middle school students, that is vital.
Yep.
Oh, building wide.
Yep. So I'm fine with that. Someone like to make a motion to.
So moved.
All right. Second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, all in favor of the prices that Dan recommended?
Aye.
Okay. All right,
All right, unanticipated special education needs. So we went through the budget process and cut out quite a bit of the special ed costs. Since then, we've had an increase of special ed costs either for the remainder of this year going into next year. Pretty significant. I can't get into too much detail as always, but it could include something like a foster care or medical situation, placement that includes additional services. So the cost that I would like to cut a purchase order to Spalding Youth Center for $228,000. We're talking about less than a few kids, which is why I don't want to get into the details, but again, you do have the funds to put back in there, and I'd like to put that in there so you're covered for those services. So I will need approval on that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Where does the money come from?
So it comes from your unreserved funds, so you don't have to.
Unreserved.
right, we have to
Yeah, so you
provide
don't have to
services.
borrow. So typically, if this happens sometimes with smaller, some of our more rural schools, it's really tough for them because then they'll have to borrow or have different avenues that they go with, or cut from their regular budget. So you do have the funds right now to do it, so I highly recommend that.
And is some money can be recouped with Cat 8, or is that
So
not
it could
available?
be if they're eligible, yeah. Yeah, so some of it could be cooped back and you can get reimbursement for either Medicaid or special ed aid, which is the old catastrophic aid.
Okay.
But it's not guaranteed,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
This is line 770, is that right?
So is that, are you under tuition? It should
Under
be
general,
12,
the
10,
last
560.
page.
Is that the coding? 12, 10, 560. Is it
569,
569?
line 53.
50.
First page.
That's the line it goes under.
Okay.
So we haven't so this is the budget for next year?
For
but
next year.
You
So
want to
this
do
is
the
gonna be
PO
added
this
to
year to cover the costs that roll into next year?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's for the 24, 25 year, but the purchase order can be cut now, so you have it, you can roll it over.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a motion on the table and a second on the table. You guys ready for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Can I just clarify, that's requesting $228,000 from this year's?
For a purchase order to be cut to Spalding Youth Center for unanticipated special ed needs for 24, 25.
So basically, earmarking it in advance for next year.
Correct.
To be added to what we had previously set aside.
Mhm.
Are you comfortable with that, Sam?
Okay. All right. Aye.
Okay, thank you. Privilege of the floor, number 2. Yes?
I just, I don't know, I know we came in a couple minutes late, but we did take our 8th graders today to Boston to see the Traveling Museum of Auschwitz, and first of all, our kids were unbelievable, but it is a pretty moving experience if anybody, I just encourage if you have the opportunity to go before it leaves Boston.
Do you know how long it's there for?
I think it's there till the end of the month.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was, I can't even explain it. I'll leave it at that. It's pretty unbelievable. Yeah.
And our
kids
students
were
took it
amazing.
very seriously.
Yeah, took it very
Right.
serious, so.
And there was some community funding for that that
Yes.
we will recognize
Yes.
at the next board meeting.
Yep.
Awesome, all right. Motion to adjourn?
What time?
So moved.
I do have to go to how much time do you have before the
Do we have non-public?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
5 minutes?
yeah.
Kelly's gonna go.
Thank you.
It's in 5
5
minutes.
But for 4th and 5th graders, you don't have 4th and 5th graders.
I do not.
I do.
You do, and you do.
For the last one, do moved and seconded.
Fran made the
Fran
motion
made
and
the
Dan
second.
seconded that.
Getting my words right in there.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. We can
Yeah.
just run in there.